fire.
There is this bounce that Black Rasta does every time you are the show L3, and consistently it's about he being excited and when he goes in, and I think there's a level of excitement. That's what I bring in here. What a performance! Everybody, I'm sure, today at Stamford Bridge was definitely excited about the kind of game at Chelsea against Aston Villa. This was obviously supposed to be, a difficult game. Although, when you look at Aston Villa, where they've come from this season, they have not been particularly too good. In the last 7 games, they struggled. And against the big teams, Aston Villa have struggled. But then again, from the context and perspective of Chelsea, it was always imperative that Chelsea and send a signal to everybody that Chelsea really do mean business this season. In terms of the top 4 conversation, nobody talks about winning the Premier League. And I like the fact that Enzo Maresca, just when journalists will be saying to beat match English Premier League, or say the response was excellent, because if he had said actually no, they would say he lacks ambition. If he had said yes, they would have gone on to ridicule him in terms of saying that he's probably been over ambitious. That reply was top notch from Enzo Maresca as a manager, and then you can understand how Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Won't subscribe to the channel now, do so. Subscribe to the channel now, turn on notification where the post-match tactical analysis and reaction of some big win our Stamford Bridge, the most important one here, where it takes Chelsea on the English Premier League table. But wait, let me tell you a story, and it starts like this. When we started this season, only a few people believed in Chelsea and what they could do. Only a few people trusted where Chelsea were going. But to be very honest, all it took was an excellent manager. Let me can several times here. You just cannot convince me that that team, a midfield of Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia, mediocre, and it's a joke and they are not good enough. No, it was never going to wash. None of that explanation was going to make sense to somebody like me. And almost every time I kept on rebutting to people, said, sorry, it's a non-starter. Maybe it doesn't come from a good place. And obviously with time, what Chelsea needed, however, and I said, the biggest criticism of the Chelsea's team was the lack of, or the seeming lack of balance. Of course, it wasn't even a seeming lack of balance. There was a real lack of balance in our Chelsea team. But that is where Enzo Maresca has won his top dollar as a top manager. He comes into the team, and almost every game, the dynamism is there. Changes of players. Still, this season, there are certain injuries at certain points in time. James, for one, knowing who to use, when to use, when does he need physicality, when doesn't he need physicality, when does he go into the game and understand, say, some match the team will set off into overloading with extra number 10 so that we control the game in the half spaces, put more players in there, force the issue, and then create more chances and then score goals. It is really something that is on the next level for Enzo Maresca as a manager. And then before the game, the commentators reminded everybody, say, Enzo Maresca before the Chelsea job had never coached at any top flight championship in the world before. This is his first job as the highest level of football in any country, and it's the English Premier League. How difficult could it have been? But on every level, and for me, he comes into it. Neil said the biggest issue of Chelsea team, what about the seeming lack of balance? How do I get balance? How do I make sure I manage it all? Balance the benefit for him. You better than your players Obunya board or Asia, you physicality without the way to create chances. And it started in today's game. Now let me tell you, Chelsea went into this game with knowing Villa for only a very good. And I remember saying in the post-pre-match analysis, one of the things I said is Villa for a condensing Fiifi, they use a lot of players to co-work central areas. Into Akres or pipe, then somebody has put a lot of things to block that channel. Now, if water cannot pass through a pipe because it has been coagulated or it has been blocked centrally, what you now do is that you want more agent that will loosen up spaces now for them. And that's what Enzo Maresca decided to do today. But also having at the back of the mind, they say, Villa team, this is the Villa team that is excellent in terms of physical duels. Now, somebody like Ezri Konsa, John McGinn, Uko Fiifi-Manfred, Ramsey, all of these guys are very, very physical. Even somebody like Oli Watkins, very physical. There's this Polish center back, Marty Cash, also very physical. He knew, say, Villa for no impressive brain. almost best thing that they want to do under Unai Emery say, "Yem blocking Fiifi, passing lanes on Fiifi for them blocking them. Yem preventing the ball from getting to Cole Palmer more. On Fiifi on them. It is sad. What then do Chelsea do? One, you need two number 10s in both house spaces, right house space, left house space. You want number 10s in there. Also, away from that, you want physicality. Because in Fiifi, there is physicality in John McGinn. There is physicality in Ezri Konsa. There is physicality in Matikash. How do you deal with that? And Enzo Maresca starting lineup no, for the very first time in a long time featured the three starting midfielders in here: Romeo Lavia, Moises Caicedo, and Enzo Fernandez all parking in Fiifi. And for me, that was something really brilliant in terms of reading of the game. And it goes to matches the point say Chelsea team no, but it just needed a manager that understood certain things. They needed to do certain things to work. Into Chelsea game no starting lineup on the match now. It was Chelsea of Echironum that a brand here a friend of Levi Cole and Wesley Fofana. Of course, 4 and 5 normal batch this season. Very, very resolute pair. Levi Cole as the CCB central centre back. On a possible one for each other, pass here for each or calming down, we're breaking the lines. He has been given that liberty to do that. Then on the other side was a branch here, a friend of Wesley Fofana. Now Wesley had two jobs. The first job of Wesley, and he says, Chelsea hit a ball now. That's a Villa for city off. That's the you ain't on my blocking passing and see, that's a bit my carry ball for that. He's supposed to be the ball carrier from deep, same as Romeo Lavia and Sadio Mane. But the most important job of Wesley Fofana was on a branch here, a friend Oli Watkins. Now because everybody knows Oli Watkins is a very stubborn centre forward. Now Ujano now man 2 or more yards. Ujano is a own ball no go wasting time. Now Ujano man is space or overhead team. Their plan was to be very physical on Oli Watkins. Say Oli Watkins ball now. Wesley Fofana should be very close to him, going to him with the duels now. Then let Levi Cole do the off the ball job for you, the sweeping job no on your side. So that injury now, Emma Wesley Fofana pride. It was a long ball. Wesley Fofana tried to control it ahead of Oli Watkins. Then quickly you could see Levi Cole came in. My focus is on the role of Levi Cole in that regard. Obviously, there were certain times and that Wesley Fofana had issues because Oli Watkins is smooth, very smooth. There was some cool touches, 1 or 2 I'll be to me ahead too. Our game is him, and that's something really that Enzo Maresca wanted. Then the big surprise was that Moises Caicedo was playing a right back. Into the question was, I didn't see Moises Caicedo about right back. Mikel Arteta tried with Thomas Partey Bipe. But like I always say, in the modern game, the nominal formations do not matter. Nominal formation is, for instance, you started the ball, ABL paper, so 4-1, 4-1, 4-3-3, doesn't matter. What really matters essentially is the role of the player on the field of play. Say team Nikita ball and then a player here. Team any ball and then a player here. In what zones are the player supposed to receive the ball? What do they have to do when they don't have the ball? Where are they supposed to position themselves? It was so important in terms of what Chelsea wanted to do. And Chelsea did it with the positioning, the nominal formation of Moises Caicedo at right back. But anytime Chelsea near ball, you could see some Moises Caicedo would invert next to Romeo Lavia as the two DMs, or they're supposed to build up play from that area. Now, what I meant is that Chelsea had a flat back three. So Mark Cucurella, then in the middle of that three was Levi Cole, like I did mention, as the CCB, then Wesley Fofana as the RCB, but essentially two jobs, two roles in terms of the variations. The role on the ball as a ball carrier, the role off the ball as closing down and being very tight on Wesley Fofana was very important. Then, because Chelsea knew Villa without the ball will not particularly press. Into one, Chelsea had an excellent ball player at centre back in Levi Cole, and he has been given lines and some breaking lines now. And Faho said pass near wrong 40, play the ball, break the lines, try to break the lines, go beyond 1 or 2 lines and find Enzo, find Cole Palmer. Into the job of Chelsea was essentially position Enzo Fernandez in the left half space. Then you have a bench friend Cole Palmer in the right half space. For the past 2-3 weeks, before we are complaining, so Cole Palmer performance then shared down by issues with how he's playing because one upon the left half space side Pedro to run in the ball as a in the ball. Usually they play at more fast pace. So Noni Madueke comes down the ball for him. And on the left half space, he has to shift and find his angles, and it's a little bit difficult for him. So it didn't really help him. And I think that Enzo Maresca realized that in terms of getting the attacking balance right, he needed to keep Cole Palmer in the right half space, but also give Villa something else to think about. in the left hand space in Enzo Fernandez. Also, Enzo had an extra job. Make Chelsea last week. Enzo was one of the Chelsea players who covered the most ground. Or cover I think about 11 kilometers for Chelsea Football Club. So without the ball, he's supposed to come back to come and help Romeo Lavia, because Maresca will be defending the wide area. Before he gets there, Wesley Fofana will have to go and defend the wide area. But essentially, he has to come back to come and cover, and Enzo Fernandez will come back. So it's a huge job from Enzo Fernandez, and I think that he delivered very well. Of course, on the left, he decided to go in for Jadon Sancho, because when he said mid-block now Villa for the start, most likely it will retreat into a low block. Now I could copy him in a low block there. New person and say, "Oh, you'll be able to break it down low block," and you can tell for me this season before Jadon Sancho about Chelsea, I didn't really give him a lot of credit in terms of what he can do, because to be very honest, I wondered what really he can come up. Of course, in the skill set, it's somebody that is very important against low blocks, and he did it this weekend against Headingham. But when you are going to do it against Aston Villa in a 1:30 p.m. kickoff at Stamford Bridge against team, my friend, Villa or English Premier League India, then you need to do more, you need to do better, you need to push more. And I think that Jadon Sancho was top on the dribbles, the pulse, and the calming down, the combination play. In fact, that left hand side, Marco Correa, Enzo Fernandez, and Jadon Sancho, it was top-notch performance from all three of them. And then on the right hand side, Chelsea player, of course, Nicolas Jackson was there. But you see, what matters most in games like this, Chelsea big problem when to pick the moment, when not to force the issue. Because Chelsea were literally in control on the ball, off the ball. Off the ball, they were pressing and counter-pressing quickly to win the ball back. On the ball, obviously, they had a lot of time on the ball to try and break down Villa for them. But then again, when to pick the moment, because there's a certain time when I passed the came, there were times that now the ball becomes the flop. There were a certain time in the first half, now Robert Sanchez, Villa for goalkeeper, Emiliano Martinez was able to play out. They put Maresca out and they attacked those 5 posts. There was a time where somebody like Wesley Fofana was too tight to Ole Watkins. Ole Watkins is a control ball. He should have scored. He couldn't score. And Robert Sanchez, they make a good save. But really, the most important bit was shown in Chelsea goal, the first one. Look at that ball. The first one was essentially a simple job. In fact, a very, very simple job of pressing and counter-pressing. And Chelsea news is a team that sits backs are. I get back question reading of the game when you're in the rest defense to press and counter-press and win the ball. And immediately that ball was a corner kick. Ball a flipping back. Chelsea went to play the cross in. If we Pedro net to him, it was headed back. Romeo Lavia tried to play it. It was blocked back. Immediately Jadon Philogene a miscontrol ball. It was like a trigger to a friend of Marco Correa. He pounced on it, won the ball, and then played again. Because what's your time now, Marco Correa winning ball now? Villa obviously will go into a low block to go and defend their box. But immediately that happened, quickly that's when Jadon Sancho comes in. Because if you are playing Oni Madueke, he wants to burst forward. You don't want that. You want the pulsar to wait for the run of Marco Correa. And once Marco Correa comes in, he lays in the ball for him. And then what a cutback and an excellent finish for Abrantia Yefero, Nicolas Jackson. 8 goals this season. And out of that 8 goals, I think over 5 of them have put Chelsea 1-0 up this season. Integral for everything that Chelsea are doing this season. Running those channels, holding up play, scoring goals, helping the team go. Nicolas Jackson has been super integral this season, and he got a goal. Now, when he got a goal, it's about how Chelsea can get a second goal. How can Chelsea prevent Villa from exploiting them and getting a goal of themselves? And I think one thing that happened was that if you look at what Chelsea were trying to do, it gave some openings to Villa until when Chelsea, the dying members of the game again, and in settled play. I think that the second goal for me was the best performance, the best team goal I remember this season for Chelsea. Settled play. Romeo Lavia wins the ball back, takes the ball back to Levi. They rotate the ball, they circulate the ball very well. Then, like I told you, there was supposed to be a number 10 in the left hand space and number 10 in the right hand space, and they had to interchange and win the ball from them. This time, Chelsea were able to find the number 10 in the right hand space in Cole Palmer, who quickly found Enzo Fernandez in the left hand space, right in the box over there, then almost a Trivela, half volley over there, then Enzo Fernandez. And I went on Twitter and I went to say that, see, I wasted a lot of time in trying to explain to people the importance of Enzo Fernandez. The most important thing that anybody will do for him in any team is to max his weakness. Every player has a weakness. In player analysis, the most important thing is about the player's weakness, not the strength. The strength are easy to see, but in the weakness and its effect on the team. Enzo Maresca decided to, let him sit on the bench, tell him that, show him, and they love you, we know that me person we need a ball in this area. I want you to be more aggressive. I want you to win. This game, I saw Enzo Fernandez winning a lot of 50-50 duels. Something that for me, I didn't see Enzo Fernandez do. People were breezing past him. In fact, last season, Enzo Fernandez was one of the most dribble pass players in English Premier League. One of the most players they dribbled past them a lot in English Premier League. And then this season, Enzo Fernandez went into the game making sure that he was better in terms of winning the duels, winning 50-50 duels this Sunday manner, and then of course also got a goal. And then he made that call me celebration. So he's going to be there. In the second half, it was spot on. Chelsea made a quick change around the 60 something minutes on him, taking off Abrantia, your friend Nicholas Jackson, bringing on Christopher Nkuku, bringing on Noni Madueke team. The plan was that so the Noni Madueke bar, then you pull Pedro Neto to the left hand side. Then you can have Noni Madueke Cole Palmer in the and again, I think for everybody that says Cole Palmer thrives off Noni Madueke, that goal was a clinical example of what that is. Sebone called the far side to the right hand side, Cole Palmer waiting, not having had the best of game. It was so much in, but the fact that he could wait for Sabon, he could calm down. The ball came onto the right side space, but because he has a strong foot and a left in came to the left, opening up his body, top right corner. Then Cole Palmer makes it 3-0 for Chelsea. What it means, and he said, if you go to the English Premier League before set of matches where your boy our English Premier League game, not Brighton and Hove Albion Aberdeen, not Arsenal now. So all of them had leapfrogged Chelsea on top of the English Premier League. Now Chelsea needed to respond, and they've obviously gotten a response. Jackson, Fernandez, Cole Palmer in getting that response done. Now, because of this and the quality of the game and how close English Premier League, Chelsea have now opened up a gap between almost any team and your friend of Aston Villa. 6 points between Chelsea and Aston Villa. Very, very important result in that regard. And if you look at the English Premier League table before now, of course, and then in the evening there's going to be that one, City versus team, my friend, in Liverpool. Now Arsenal were second after one game with 25 points, Brighton 23 points, Chelsea before and then game had 23. First clean sheet in a long time for Chelsea. It means that Chelsea go to second and wait for Man City to play against Liverpool. What a time it was. If you are told anybody said this season you have about 13 games into the season and Chelsea are going to sit second, closing point with Manchester City, even if City wins today or City gets a draw, it means that nobody would have believed you. But that is the reality at Stamford Bridge. And Chelsea now have 25 points. Our English Premier League. What a season Chelsea are having. Cole Palmer, go. Chelsea man picks up the top left corner with a wonderful strike in there from Abrantia, your friend Cole Palmer. And I think that Cole Palmer was spot on in the match now. He was brilliant over there. Cole Palmer scoring record at Chelsea is among the great. Fewest games needed to reach 30 pure goals this season. Jamie Floyd Helsingberg about 41 games and San Jose 30 goals. Cole Palmer 46 to reach 30 goals. Diego Costa 48 to reach 30 goals. And then of course the great Didier Drogba AUSU 67 goals and he reaching the number of 30 goals in the English Premier League. What a season. And our branch your friend Cole Palmer and having in the English Premier League, and same for our branch your friend Nicholas Jackson. So excellent game here on him. Enzo Fernandez has scored back-to-back Premier League games for the very first time in his career. What a season Abrantia Enzo Fernandez have. And of course, in terms of statistics now, most non-penalty goals scored by a player in the Premier League since the start of last season. Cole Palmer, Erling Haaland 31, Oli Watkins 25, Nicholas Jackson 22, proper gunman. And yet the post-match analysis, Chelsea versus Aston Villa, and on ABC will come back with a lot of the other games, a lot of the post-match analysis now. So then, stay and take care. Bye-bye.